Testing, testing, testing. Let's see. Does this audio come through clear and crisp? Give me a few minutes, guys, and we'll get started. Yo, what's good, Johnny? We do have a very juicy economic news calendar coming up this week. No big three news events, pretty much red folder news every single day. It's going to be really nice. All tradable. All right, what's up, guys? I'm trying to see if I can change to my other Wi-Fi network I have here, because let's see how the delay is when I switch time frames. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Let's see if we go to the 15-minute. All right, it's actually not too bad. It's actually perfect. And there we go. It's just so annoying when it delays a lot. It's frustrating. Usually it delays. There's no delay. One. All right. Let's go to 1 minute. What's up, guys? I'm trying to see if I can. All right, that should be fine. We can work with that. Whoops, that's loud. Let's see how. All right. I think we can work with this. All right, that's actually not too bad. Let me lower the music here a bit. All right, lowered it. Let me know if that's too loud. I think everything's fine. Let's get started here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get started. Oops. What is up, guys? How has your weekend been? Hope you've had a great one. Good to go. Good to go. Fuck. Wait. Let me make a announcement on my Instagram that we're live, and then we'll get started. Sorry for the delay. All right. How was your weeks last week? Green, red, break even. What do you think was the best trade of last week? Let me know. Let me know how your weeks has been. Quite curious. Just one moment as I make some final announcements here. Share, copy, sweet. Fantastic weekend. Love to see it. Love to see it. What's up, Bayo? Love you from Nigeria. That's awesome. I love you too, bro. Green. Love it. Good to go. What's good? What's good, Amin? What's good, Samuel? What's good, Sapid? Tayo. It was alright. Red, but education. What about you? I had a break-even week last week, actually. Break-even on the week. It was on that silver unicorn. Didn't end up playing out. In fact, it was actually the weaker of the pair. I actually made a personal error there as I was journaling. Gold was actually had an argument to be the stronger setup because they both had unicorns at the same time. But at the time, I thought silver was stronger. But after further reviewing, I think there were definitely arguments as to why gold should have been taken. And you saw gold did play out and expand nicely. So yeah, break even on the week last week. Silver was the main, pretty much, I think the only trade I took last week. That unicorn on the 5-minute. Just one moment. Let me, almost done here. Sorry, guys. Have you all been tuning into your daily edge? We're on day 6 of edging right now. You've been keeping up. All right, it has been posted. I think we are ready to go. Psych. We have to post on Twitter. Unfortunate. I wish it was a platform I could just do this all at once. Okay, let's see. Doing a weekly forecast. Silver Unicorn was nice look, but motherfucker didn't hit. Yo, for real. It was unfortunate. It was textbook. Like, you really can't get any more textbook than that unicorn on silver last week. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. Go longer of the two. Doing weekly forecast on YouTube right now. Almost there, guys. Almost there. All right, posted. Let's catch up in the comments here. Do you paste or pickle to use weekly profiles? And if so, can you make a video on it? I don't use them. Like, I don't think about them. How do I answer that? Because I don't really use them into my model. I kind of have them in the back of my mind, since that is pretty much like one of the ICT basics that you learn in the beginning. You know, Tuesday usually is high of week, and then we see expansion Wednesday and Thursday. So I suppose I do use the weekly profiles as a sort of framework, actually, to what to expect, but I don't die by them, right? I just play what I'm not going to die by them and, you know, really demand that to be present in order for me to take a trade, if that makes sense. But I do have them in the back of my mind as certain expectations as to what today should play out like, but I don't put a lot of focus on that, if that makes sense. Edge me, pickle. Yep. What's good, Robert? What's good, real homeboy? You looking at setup same time? Well, I'm looking at, well, now that I'm trading futures, I'm not looking at much. I'm really looking at these futures right here. If you can see my screen. Yeah, these are my futures watch list. Not even the currencies, really just these. Why is one day tradable for you when there is no folder? Great question. So let's just begin right here. Let's get started. What's good, Volt? What's good, Makey? What's good, guys? What's good, guys? Thanks for tuning in today. Let's get into it. So let's pull up the economic news calendar for this week. Let me paste that onto this chart right here. Wow, my internet is horrible. My internet is really bad. Twitter is not even loading. I'm trying to pull up the news calendar, but it is still loading. Wow. Yeah, this is bad. It's funny because I tested the internet speed right before we started, and it was at like 200 megabits per second or whatever. Now it's like probably a 2. Oh my god. It's not even responding now. I might not even be streaming anymore. My god. My god. Well, anyways, there's the calendar. Finally got it up. So, first thing we want to do every single week when we are doing a forecast is look at the economic news calendar first. That is your roadmap. It is going to tell you which days you should focus on, which days you should avoid. Hence, the week. Very important. You cannot ignore this step. This is the first thing you want to be doing. So, Monday, let's look at what's going on here. We have 3:15 euro red folder news. We have 3:30 red folder news again. 4:30 GBP red folder news. So Forex pairs are going to be quite volatile, likely coming into this Monday. If you want to intraday trade those, if you're up for London session, could be quite nice. And then we have 9:45 USD red folder news right here. Very nice. Could expect some volatility on this Monday already. So valid trade day. Really nice. Tuesday. Red folder, 12:30 a.m. news, AUD, JPY pairs on the table, AUD pairs on the table, UAE red folder news at 10 a.m. and then CAD red folder news and AUD CPI right here. So lots of volatility also expected over here on Tuesday. AUD pairs valid, JPY pairs valid, and USD and CAD pairs valid to trade on this day for you intraday traders. Very nice volatility. Wednesday. So Wednesday is an interesting one, right? Because what do we also have on Wednesday that I didn't show here on that Twitter post? We have 10:30 a.m. crude oil inventories, which is an orange folder news. It just doesn't show up. I didn't include the orange folders because if you included the orange folders, this wouldn't have even fit on the post. It would have been a huge list. So just don't include it. This is where tuning into the forecast helps because we have 10:30 a.m. crude oil inventories, orange folder news, which does have an impact if you are trading crude oil right here. For example, let's go to the one that was this Wednesday just to show you how that volatility does impact the market here. Would have been a great study, but now the chart is lagging. Oy, oy, oy. This is so bad. This is just so bad. Now the stream's lagging. Oh boy. Yeah, this is gonna be tough to work with here, guys. It's not moving. You heard the sound. All right, we're back. We're back. Wednesday, right here. Where was that news event? 10:30. 10:30 right there. Let's go to 5 minutes. That's where we saw it. We're gonna have to wait another 10 minutes as we load to the lower time frame. Oh boy. Where do you live, bro? I live in Miami. I'm in Miami right now. This is reminiscent of that Vietnam Wi-Fi, if you remember correct. If you remember back then. So this is that 10:30 news right here. This candle was that 10:30 news. We want to wait until after that news event because it was actually quite a setup right here. There was this unicorn that presented itself that I avoided as a result of that news coming up. As you can see, completely disrespected that very huge volatile candle right there. So you want to be watching out for that crude oil 10:30 news. That's one news event that I will actually wait until after and then look to trade right there. So let's, now that we understand that, why I'm looking at that on Wednesday, why I'm looking at that to be a trade day. Also, indices always have that 9:30 open volatility every single day. 9:30 a.m. Always going to be an injection of volatility, even if there is no news on the day. So that is why I always have indices as a potential trade candidate going into, a day with no news like this. It is valid. So that is the reason behind that. And then Thursday, we have CHF red folder news, 3:30, 4 a.m. And then more USD red folder news right here. Except right here, we have Powell speaking at 9:20. So I always wait until Powell is done speaking. I kind of treat that as a secret hidden big three news event. We have FOMC, NFP, CPI, but also Powell speaking can impact the market greatly. So I always wait until he's just done talking and then look to trade after that. Friday, we also have USD red folder news, CAD red folder news. Should be a very nice week. Really nice week because we don't have any big three news events we have to worry about, especially if you're swinging. This is going to be a very nice week for that. Intraday trades also be a very nice week for that. We're likely not going to expect, bad price action prior to those FOMC days or NFP days, CPI days, or even the day of leading up to that. Looks like a very promising week right here. So nice calendar we are working with. Let's move on. Also, let me know, guys, is the quality good or is it super pixelated and blurry? Because the little screen I see over here on my YouTube live preview, it's extremely blurry. I hope it is not like that for you, because I would hate that. How old are you? I'm 23. 23. So let's go over this right here. Dollar. It's good? Okay, sweet. I'm glad it's good. Let's go on over dollar right here. Looks like we are expanding next towards these next premium raise. So we have this as a potential target, and we have this level just swept. Let's go down to the weekly. We need a better story. If we're going lower, where are we going lower from? What I just marked up there on the monthly was just PD areas we can draw towards next, right? So on a weekly basis, we have a better story being told by price right here, a more clear story. We have this weekly fair value gap right over here. Change. Okay, no, we're good. We have a weekly fair value gap right over here. We were looking for a weekly internal to external, and we did get that delivered last week. Very nice. So we now have that context complete. What we're seeing right here is we're sweeping this swing low. So that's a bit suspicious. So let's go down into the lower time frames and see if there is still reason to move down lower. Are there any PD areas we can use on a daily basis to act as context, new context, since this weekly context is taken? There's a new context on a daily basis to move lower off of that. Right? We're looking for PD areas we can use to move lower off of, showing intention via a fair value gap. So on a daily basis, we do see that right here. We have daily context. We have the daily gap currently being respected by price right here. Now, likely going to seek this daily external range liquidity right here. So we have nice context on dollar. I am expecting lower prices right here. Let's go to the 4 hour and see, do we have any 4 hour gaps already displacing lower off of this? On a 4 hour basis, this price action is actually quite gross. We have this 4 hour gap. We did displace lower off that daily. But we are failing to expand lower, and we've now gotten to these low probability conditions right here where there's a lack of any fair value gap being created, no displacement. So again, this is something we went over in that video, low probability conditions, posted last month, I believe that was. So what do? You want to wait for a new fair value gap being created. You want displacement away from this consolidation. So pretty much just looking for a new 4 hour fair value gap to be created here. Then we can use that to look and seek for lower prices. But at the moment, there's really nothing I'd like to do with on dollar, as this 4 hour is showing no respect to this 4 hour gap. This 4 hour price action is now lacking any sort of fair value gaps, lacking that intention to continue pushing below old lows right here. So very gross conditions on dollar. Consolidation, we want to see displacement out of this, and then we can resume looking for lower prices on dollar. So we have a bearish bias on dollar. Let's just mark this red to understand we do have a bearish bias. We're just waiting for confirmation lower because we can't do anything right now. We can't do anything because there's no fair value gaps. We live and we die by the FVG. So there's no FVG. There's nothing for us to do. We must wait. So let's move on to the next one. If my internet wants to let me, let's go down to Euro. This is tough right here. This is tough. Look at this. Look at this. All right. All right. On a weekly basis, we have weekly internal external context still has not delivered. Oh my God, I'm going to regret this. Okay, thank God it didn't. Whereas DXY, we actually did take that weekly context already. So a little bit of SMT going on there, but still expecting lower prices on that. I would be focused on GBP here. It is the stronger asset. Let's look at GBP real quick. GBP did also take that high with dollar. Also closing aggressively above this high, signaling further continuation is likely. GBP is an absolute textbook example in weekly internal to external playing out. Textbook example of all the concepts working together here, overlapping order block. Look at the respect to that level. Absolutely gorgeous rejection candle right here. This signals lower time frame displacement, and then this next candle, as expected, continuation up higher. On a 4 hour basis, we confirm the move higher with a 4 hour fair value gap, and that was shown right here with this gap. Absolutely beautiful. Respect to this. This is that change in state of delivery. Overlapping level right here. Didn't quite tag that right there. Still moved off of this fair value gap right here. Beautiful expansion, beautiful market maker buy model all the way up towards that external range high. Beautiful stuff right here. This is the type of price action you want to note down, journal it, study. Really nice case study here. So what am I looking for on GBP now is what we just took that weekly context. Would like to see new 4-hour for value gaps here. I'm trying to go to the daily, but we're stuck on the 4-hour. Would like to see new 4-hour for value gaps right there. We can play this idea if dollar starts to create those new 4-hour for value gaps lower. We can play those 4-hour gaps on GBP as well, just based off of that idea. If we do get a 4-hour gap lower over here on dollar, that could be nice before taking this context right here. Because then we have context on dollar. We can just play that based on the GBP strength over here. GBP is literally GU. That's correct. Yes, that is correct. But yeah, GBP looks great. Let's add this to the long watch, waiting for new 4-hour gaps. If we get a daily gap, that would be beautiful as well. Really great there. Understand that euro is weaker at the moment. I don't want to go back to that because the lag. So sorry guys if I don't go fully in depth right here, because this internet is really a headache. Look at this right here. I don't use RDRBs. I just find that to be too much, too unnecessary. You can, if you start incorporating RDRBs and a bunch of other PDRAs, you'll always have a reason to be in a trade. And that's not a good thing. You want to have set conditions on when you should be trading, when you should not be trading. You don't want to be able to place a trade every second of the day, because then there's no filter to low probability conditions. You want to have a filter. You want to know, okay, this is exactly when I should be in the market. When there's fair value gaps, that shows intention. If you start incorporating RDRBs and all this other stuff, I promise you, you're going to get overwhelmed. Too many PDRAs, too many reasons to potentially move higher, move lower, too many conflicting arguments. Don't do that. Stay focused on the gaps. My recommendation, of course, I'm not telling you what to do. I just think that's the simplest way of approaching all of this right here. Less is more. Focus on less PDRAs. You'll have more focus to put into your psychology, which is what you should actually be focusing on more than just adding more technicals, adding more PDRAs to your toolbox. You don't need that. Take my hotspot at this point, bro. I want to. I would take you up on that. All right, bro, I'm gonna have to go to the weekly, and that's gonna be another 5 minutes. All right, here we go. Finally on the weekly. Weekly internal to external complete. We just took that high. Currently failing to close above it. Again, GBP is much stronger at this point. If we're going to be bearish on dollar, we're going to want to trade the strongest of these currencies. Are we back? Are we actually back? Are we back, chat? Are we back? I think we're good now. I think I was able to change the internet. If we are indeed back and live, which I don't know yet because YouTube hasn't updated me yet, I think we are good to go. I was able to find the correct network that I usually use. It just wasn't showing up earlier. I have no idea why, but I think we are good to go. We are so back, chat. Let's go. Let's go. We are looking good. Let's get back into it. All right. No more lag, right? Look at this. Look at this. Weekly. Ooh. 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 Let's go to the 1 minute. Oh my God. That's what I'm talking about. It's the little things that make you happy. It's really just good internet. I love it. I love to see it. Beautiful. We are so back, chat. Let's go. Let's see. Back to the daily. All right, on a daily basis, we're sweeping. No fair value gaps likely to be created here anytime soon. So again, like I said, GBP is my focus. It is showing more expansion above that high. Which high? This high. Beautiful. Oh my god, this is amazing. This feels like I just unlocked the superpower, being able to just jump in between all these charts. This is amazing. Let's go back to NZD. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. NZD, a little bit weaker than AUD over here. Let's go back to the weekly. But the weekly context is looking nice. Again, focusing on GBP because it is much stronger, but we do have weekly context right here that could still play out. So let's look at that on a 4-hour basis. Go to the daily. No fair value gaps right there. 4-hour, again, consolidation, just like dollar right here, consolidation. Want to avoid that, and you just want to wait for a new 4-hour fair value gap to be created out of this, and then this could be great. Could be nice. Again, I'd focus on stronger pair. Also would be AUD right here. Oh, absolutely garbage right here on what's this, CAD dollar. Trapped order flow. So this is what we call trapped order flow when we are stuck between two higher time frame premium and discount arrays. What do I mean? Well, the discount array is this weekly gap that we can use for frame higher prices off of, and then we have this weekly bearish fair value gap that we can frame lower prices off of. So there's conflicting arguments right here to be bullish and to be bearish. When you see that, you're going to get very nasty price action like this, which shows a lack of intention to really go anywhere. Also, lack of fair value gaps right here, signaling low probability conditions. This is something you want to avoid. CAD, do not touch it right here. Absolutely nasty, nasty price action. Just need to wait for new displacement. We need to wait for price to disrespect one of these premium or discount arrays. Ideally, seeing a daily gap like this would be nice to get us out of this nasty stuff right here. All right, beautiful, beautiful example of low probability conditions. Oh, another one, another garbage pair right here that is not showing anything promising. We have weekly internal to external over here, not delivering higher. Now sweeping previous, what is this? Previous candles low over here. Wanted to see more expansion higher. Now we're sweeping this previous candles high. Now displacing back into this range. Low probability conditions. Also, just no respect to any fair value gaps right here. Not liking this at all. USD CHF, very gross. On to the next. Where's the buy side? Okay, I've seen that question a couple times now. Where's the buy side for GBP? Since I believe we're at, no, we're not at all-time highs. What is the monthly doing? On a monthly, where would be the next premium array we can target? Would be this swing high on a monthly basis. It's quite a ways away. Let's go to the weekly. We're just showing more expansion above this old high. So what I would look for is pretty much just new context to be formed. All right. Once we have that new context, for example, let's say we get a daily fair value gap here. Well, now that new context forms our new target. It forms a new buy side, which would just be this candle's swing high that forms the high of the retracement back into the imbalance that, if we do get that, gets formed here. So now we have a new short-term target, which would just be this new external range liquidity that gets formed here. So that's why we're just waiting for new context, because context just got taken here. So again, there's nowhere to target. We need to wait and form new gaps, new IRL to ERL, and then we can use that as targets, which is why I'm saying I'm waiting on that right now. And that is that. These majors are the exact same thing as the currency futures, so no need to go into those right there. All right, let's go into the futures over here. Good, yes. Wow, I love having good internet. This is beautiful. Let me check up chat. What's going on, guys? No, the stream is still up. Did I forget JPY? Ooh, yes. I forgot JPY. Good shout. JPY on a monthly basis. What's going on here? Monthly basis, we've been looking for lower prices based on this monthly order flow, but we aren't respecting, if we go to the weekly, we're going to see that we're not respecting these premium arrays right here. We're not offering fair value successfully to go lower, right? So if we're failing to offer fair value, we're likely going to seek liquidity up here. Let's go down to the weekly, see what that is telling us though. See if there's weekly intention to push there. And on a weekly basis, that intention is starting to shift, because now what's happening, we're respecting premium arrays. We're respecting this weekly swing high and we're not closing above it. See how we're failing to trade above this? Every time we do, we just reject back down. There's no intention to push higher and create new expansion, forming new gaps we can use to frame trades higher towards this swing high that we wanted to see get seeked. On a weekly basis, we have to pay attention to that story, because we might have a monthly idea, but the weekly is going to act, or the lower time frames are going to act as our compass, right? This is a lower time frame relative to the monthly, right? And the monthly idea, we were looking for the idea of failing to offer fair value, likely going to seek liquidity. But again, we have to refer to the lower time frame compass, because that tells us what price is actually going to do next. It's our most recent feedback, right? So on the weekly basis here, failing to expand above that swing high. Let's go to the daily. On a daily basis, and just see rejection lower. These are likely going to be 4-hour gaps displacing below. And we do see, yeah, this looks like a market maker sell model down towards this next level, right? So if we're respecting this, where can we potentially now seek? Because we're always offering fair value or seeking liquidity. This would be that next liquidity pool we could potentially seek on JPY. Let's go back to the 4-hour. So this could be quite interesting right here. Let's watch this 4-hour fair value gap to potentially send price lower. One second. All right, we're back. We're back. Let's go to indices over here. Let's go to the monthly chart. On a monthly chart, we are in bullish order flow clearly. Over here, this was SMT on the lows with NASDAQ. Let's go to the weekly. On a weekly basis, we are just trading at all-time highs. We just took all-time highs right here. This weekly candle failed to close above that. So that's not a sign we want to see for continuation. But is the lower time frame showing any sign of actually moving lower? Or the lower time frames or the compass, is it showing us any sort of sign that we want to move lower? Let's go to the daily here. On a daily basis, not really. We just swept that and had a consolidation day right here, an inside candle. Let's go to the 4-hour, see what the story being told there is. So there's quite an interesting story right here. We have a 4-hour fair value gap right here. It's the only PD array I see from a top-down analysis, the only higher time frame PD array we can use to potentially continue moving higher. So this could be interesting. I'm sure this will get all messed up by the time New York session on Monday forms, but potentially could see higher prices from here up towards that external range high. And then from there, we're just going to need to wait for new context to be developed going into the rest of the week, because we are trading at all-time highs. So you have to be very careful here as well, not be too aggressive, waiting for very clear context, very clear internal and external range liquidity. Say we get another 4-hour euro like this, you can look at that for higher prices potentially. Just waiting for new context here. I doubt we'll be able to have a chance to play anything that gets formed here. Also, let's go to NQ. So I'm bullish on ES. Let's keep this at green right there. Let's go to NQ. NQ on a monthly basis, we just swept this monthly swing low. All right, where can we likely go to next? The next premium array would be this monthly swing high. Just drawing towards that. We have a nice swing low potentially forming here. Would expect this candle to continue expanding higher. That third candle. On a weekly basis, we see swing high resting above right there. Not much to see on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Do we have context there? No context right here. Just seeing more follow through higher off of this daily IRL. Really great respect to that. Although there was no opportunities to play this. It looks really nice on a higher time frame chart. Looks really nice on a higher time frame chart. But if you go to the 1 hour, there was very little chance to actually get into this move. Why is that? Well, we had all this chop right here going into the week. We had FOMC here. And then we had all this overnight expansion, Asia into London. And it was really hard to have captured a move. This whole expansion pretty much happened overnight. So it was really hard to capture that. And then Friday was not a nice day. We really just consolidated right here. It's a bit of a tough week last week. That FOMC was tough price action. Again, I only had one trade and it was a break even on silver. So not much happened last week, regardless if this daily looks really clean. Really nice expansion off of that. So what I'd be waiting for here is, let's go to the 4 hour. Do we have context there? And we do. So we have 4 hour context, 4 hour internal to external. Would like to see this just continue playing out bullish right here on NASDAQ. No reason to be bearish just yet. So we're going to mark that up, put that on the long watch. Right there. All right, let's see. Can you explain in your last video, you were saying if there's weekly fair value gap, no need to look daily. There's weekly gap, no need to look daily. What if, for example, we are bearish and we have a daily, FEG and also weekly FEG, and daily FEG is also below weekly? You're gonna have to tell me an example. If you have one, I can look at that. A real chart example, I work best with that if I can see what you're talking about on the actual chart, and I could better help you there. But if there's weekly context, well, we don't need to look for daily context. We have weekly context and we can just dive down into the 4 hour, confirm our market maker model off of that. Now we have a daily bearish value gap. Then again, you have to worry about that as well, because that could potentially signal trapped order flow. So you do want to always check the daily first. You want to check the daily before you go down to the 4 hours. So let me actually make that clear. You don't just skip the daily, right? What I mean by that is if there's no context on the weekly, well, then we can still look for context on the daily. That's just referring to IRL to ERL. If it's not visible on the weekly, drop down to the daily. And if it's visible there, okay, great. Now you have context to work with. MMXM, can you show a stage 1 MMXM example? That's very simple. Right here. Well, you say we have a fair value gap. We have external range liquidity over here. Simply put, don't overcomplicate MMXM, guys. MMXM is simply the movement of price from PD array to PD array. Okay, from one PD array to the other. And MMXM is simply the price movement that you see delivered from this PD array up into this one. I don't focus on stage 1, stage 2, low risk buys. I don't view it that way. I just view it as price is going to move from this PD array to this PD array, and I simply want to play the order flow legs up into that. My preferred order flow leg to play is the first order flow leg that gets created out of that change in state of delivery, the fair value gap displacing away, or as of recent, that unicorn model, which would be something like this. It would go right here. And you mark the up close candle right here. You want the fair value gap overlapping on all of that. That would also just be your low risk buy as well, or just the first order flow leg, right? And then if you want to, your stage 1 would just be the second leg right there, that second order flow leg. But the way I view it is just by order flow legs. I don't think of LRB, stage 1, stage 2, stage fucking 5. It doesn't matter. I just focus on the order flow legs. Keep it simple. No reason to overcomplicate MMXMs here. Unicorn model is dropping this week. I promise. It is getting edited right now. Unicorn model will drop this week. So that's ES bullish. NASDAQ bullish. What's our friend gold doing? What's our friend gold doing? Beautiful. Beautiful right here on gold. We have It's weekly IRL expand higher. New weekly expansion candle being created here. We have a potential weekly fair value gap that we can then use next week. Once this week forms, next week, that could become a nice context if it does want to give us a nice entry there. But we don't know that. This could easily just continue bagging as well. So then in that case, then that weekly gap isn't likely to get traded into. The way you can determine that is, let's go into the lower time frame here. Do we have context? Actually, whoa, I thought this was a weekly chart. I was talking about weeks. This is the daily chart. This is the weekly chart. The weekly chart just printed a breakaway gap right here. Whoops. Yeah, the weekly chart just printed a breakaway gap right here off of this previous weekly fair value gap right here. Where is this? Just overlapping order block right there. This is a breakaway gap. The way this third candle closed above that second, in case you're wondering, that is what creates a breakaway gap. Let's go to the daily then and see, do we have daily fair value gaps that we can already use to move higher inside this range? Let's go to the daily. And we are going to get that created after Monday trade. So on gold, I would like to wait right here for a potential daily fair value gap, which could be nice. Let's take a look at the 4-hour real quick. Do we have any 4-hour fair value gaps? No, we have one all the way down here. But if we do at that point, we may just want to consolidate and then create that daily gap, sting into it, and then move higher. I would like to see a daily fair value gap right here on gold. I'm waiting on that. Very great potential context formed here. I believe we're at all-time highs, correct? Yeah, so when we're at all-time highs like this, let me just double check that. Yeah, we are at all-time highs on gold. So when we're at all-time highs like this, you want to be very careful and you want to wait for price to make retracements into context areas. We want to create context. So let's form daily context here. Let's wait on that. And then once that's formed, then we have new targets to form, right? Because when we're at all-time highs, we have no targets. We're at all-time highs. So who knows where price is likely to go to next. So we need to be very patient here and wait for new targets to be created via new external range liquidity right here. Would love to see a daily gap. That is what I will be waiting for on gold. Very, very nice. Let's go to silver, which is weaker right here than gold. As you can see, not nearly the same expansion we got above that old swing high over there. So I would like to focus on gold 100% right there. Silver can still maybe continue higher there, but not something I'm interested. Gold is just much, much stronger. I learned my lesson on silver last week. I had a little break-even trade. It cucked, all right? It cucked hard. I'm going to be focusing on gold right here, just overall showing insane amounts of strength. And then crude oil. Nice weekly context right here. So we have weekly internal to external still in play. What I would like to see here, since we did see a very aggressive close into that, that's not a good thing. It is an early indication that this might actually not work, but I want to see this potential thing happen next, right? We can still, and if we show the lower time frame reactions, sweep this previous week's high, and then we can displace lower. I will be waiting for 4-hour fair value gaps, observing how do we react once price takes that previous week's high. Potentially that could be the catalyst for displacement lower and this weekly context eventually working. All right, if that doesn't happen though, and we see displacement above that high, more gaps, more 4-hour fair value gaps, higher, no displacement, no change in state delivery observable once this previous week's high is taken, then we're gonna have to start seeking liquidity right here, start changing our bias to being bullish. We may be failing to offer fair value and likely going to seek this liquidity next. So we're gonna have to observe how we trade and react above previous week's high there. This is a key level to watch, all right? And these are your potential targets based on how price reacts at this previous week's high. So what could happen right here? See this accumulation. Perhaps we manipulate, take previous week's high, and then start seeing 4-hour for value gaps lower. And then we can see a market maker sell model down towards these lows. What I also really like about this potential move right here is look at all of this low resistance liquidity just being built up here, right? Low resistance liquidity just comes in the form of failure swings. This looks really nice. All this generated liquidity, all this engineered liquidity to just be sliced through like a hot knife through butter. If we do get these signatures right here, this could be extremely nice. I love the way this low resistance liquidity run looks. Could be nice if we do get this. Gonna keep this on a very close watch on crude oil. Per potential market maker sell model down towards this external range liquidity. Very nice. That gets a nice wow from me. Beautiful. Let's delete some of these right here. What's good, Molsen? Sir, good. LRLR from Lucas. SMC, it's called. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, sweet. So let's quickly do a quick rundown of the crosses since I'm not much of a Forex trader anymore. You can probably tell I've pivoted to futures mainly. But for you Forex guys, let's take a look at crosses. I'm going to sort of speed run this. How long has the live been going on? It's been going on for an hour here. I don't want to make them too long. So we're going to speed run these. Really be super picky. I'm going to be extremely picky here. If there's nothing I like, I'm literally just going to not even talk about it. It's going to move on. All right. Euro CHF on a monthly basis. That is not what I wanted to use. Achieving this previous monthly low on the weekly. Are we displacing higher? Failing to offer for value right here. Likely going to seek liquidity. Daily for value gaps potentially. Okay. This is the breakaway gap on a daily basis. Breakaway gap on a daily basis. I would wait for a new daily for value gap to be created right here, and then that could be some nice IRL to ERL potential. Not bad, not bad. I do think you'll see GBP is much likely going to be stronger. It's going to be a stronger setup. And yeah, it is. Why? Because GBP is a stronger pair, right? So you want to pair the strongest currency with the weakest currency. What is the monthly doing? Somehow still respecting this monthly gap right here. Huge rejection and no body candle closure inside of that. So that is quite an impressive rejection right there, actually. Monthly IRO to Euro on a weekly basis. Failing to offer fair value lower on that weekly. We had this weekly fair value gap, actually some price higher right here. New expansion phase being created. Let's go to the daily. This actually looks way better. I'm going to unmark Euro CHF right here because GBP looks beautiful here. If we can get a new daily for value gap, this is a breakaway gap, so wouldn't expect price to enter there. Let Monday trade, and then potentially we have a new daily gap being formed right here. What's going on in chat? Okay, all right. All right, let's continue. Where'd the lo-fi go? Oh my god, the playlist is over. Oh no. Gotta be real careful here so I don't pick something that's not copyrighted. All right, I hope this is not copyrighted. Let me make sure. Copyright. Okay. All right, we're just gonna restart the playlist. I can't waste time on that. Okay. GBP CHF. Muy nice, very nice. I like. AUD CHF. All right, I already know that these are all CHF pairs. GBP is the strongest of these currencies. All of these are likely going to be suboptimal compared to that. and it absolutely is. So none of these are interesting. That's how you can quickly just skim over that. Euro CAD, I already know GBP is the strongest of them there, so you just want to look at GBP CAD. Is there anything clean going on here? We just took these monthly highs. Let's delete everything over here. Too much. All right, we just sweep all these monthly highs. What's the weekly telling us? There's not much context here. Weekly expansion, cool. Daily expansion, cool. Okay, then. Just waiting for a daily gap here, and then we just have to observe how price reacts in there. But pretty much just waiting for a daily gap. Could be interesting. Let's move that up. EU outlook, we didn't go over internet. Okay, yeah, that's a great point actually, my friend. Okay, looks like it's drawing towards previous month's high at the moment. Weekly, we do have weekly context to continue pushing higher. Weekly internal to external. Expecting that to play out. Daily for value gap right here, holding daily IRL to ERL. But we have a bunch of this consolidation right here on the 4-hour. Just very gross. I do expect this to just continue expanding higher. Nice market maker model we have underway right here. We just need new expansion. Again, we need new 4-hour for value gaps, and then that could be nice. Keeping in mind though, GBP is stronger. GBP is stronger. Let me just take a look at Euro GBP. Good God, it's nice expansion lower. This is the reason why Euro is weaker and GBP is stronger. When you have a weak Euro GBP, you're gonna have a weak EU. Just take a look at these notes right here. Weak EU and stronger GU. All right, and the way we understood this is likely to occur is by just using these same concepts on the higher time frame on EG. Right, this is that relative strength indicator for EU and GU. Weekly internal to external. We expected this last week for this candle to expand lower these sell side towards these sell side targets, and then we had that. Now, this is the funny thing about Euro GBP. You don't want to trade it at all. You do not want to trade this. This is an absolutely garbage pair. Same thing with AUD NZD. Avoid this at all costs. This gets a nice. Never trade this in your life, please. Just take a look at this price action right here. This disgusting delivery. You're gonna notice EG always has these nasty wicks, nasty consolidations, and we rarely deliver very clean from context levels, right? This is just from experience. I've noticed that we just don't deliver clean. Look at this. We had great expansion. It looks beautiful on a weekly basis. It looks beautiful, but if you go to the 4-hour, it's just gross, and you can't catch that. So please avoid this at all costs, and just use that as an indicator to expect relative strength, to understand which is stronger, EU or GU. That's how you can use that to your advantage there. But please, please, please don't trade it, even on the higher time frame basis. Just look at this. Look at this lack of fair value gap, lack of respect to any fair value gaps. It's absolutely just nasty. So please, promise me you're not trading this. Gross. Gross, gross, gross. All right, where were we? All right, AUD CAD. We had monthly IRL to ERL just delivered there. We just reached that context high. We just took context. No daily gaps being created here. Not really interested. AUD CAD, NZD CAD. Not very interested in this at all either. Weekly context just taken. We're gonna just have to wait for new context to be formed. New daily gaps. But there's not much going on here. Nothing very promising in the near future. Euro AUD on a monthly basis, absolutely garbage price action right there. Weekly garbage price action right there, and daily failing offer fair value. Seek liquidity over here. There's no context to work with now. Again, garbage. Move on. Okay, actual garbage as well. I'm again being very picky here. Next, Euro NZD monthly is doo-doo. Monthly, sorry, this is the weekly. We have weekly context, the downside. Okay, promising. What's the daily saying? Okay, this is promising. Bit of a weird turn over here. I don't like how we consolidated and then just decided to put a fair value gap here like this. Not the cleanest of reversals off of a higher time frame PDRA. The strongest reversals you're going to notice in the market is when they happen very sharply, very aggressively. It's going to be a sharp swing in and a sharp swing out. This is when you can have high confidence in a reversal playing out. What kind of makes me feel icky about this is the fact that we came in and then we just consolidated a bit and then we just randomly saw this right here. It can still work. Just categorize them as, appropriately. It's a lower probability reversal signature. Doesn't mean you can't play it. Again, if you get the lower time frame reversal, lower time frame, change say delivery, could be nice. See a little 1 hour gap right here. Potentially delivery lower off of that. Keep an eye on that. See if that delivers. We do have that weekly context. We get new daily gaps. Could be interesting. We'll put that up. GBP is stronger though, remember. But we would look for this at shorts. GBP over here. What is this doing? Looked like we were seeking this internal range liquidity. ERL, IRL. Not. Wait, where's that monthly gap? Why didn't it pop up? Happened. It just, oh, we're back. Okay, dude, my internet just goes out for no reason. Yeah, there's a lag. We're cooked. We're back, chat. On a weekly basis, we are holding this weekly for value gap, sweeping the swing low, and showing intention to push lower off of that. If we get a daily for value gap here, could be interesting for higher prices. I'm curious, what is NZD doing? Because if NZD is bullish, this should be bearish. If NZD is bearish, this should continue higher. NZD looks like on a weekly basis, we have reason to push higher here. So I would expect these to move lower. So I would actually just focus here over on your NZD. It has more logical reason to push lower. Euro JPY. Your JPY with SMT over there on a weekly basis. JPY, remember, looks like is seeking sell side. Bit of a bearish outlook over here, so these would be bullish. We're failing to offer fair value lower, so we're likely seeking liquidity now over here. Simple as that. That's how bias can be, very simple. Let's go to the daily. Do we have any daily gaps in this direction? This is a breakaway gap, extremely small breakaway gap. Wouldn't expect price to go down there. Would just wait for new context to be formed here. Although on a 4 hour basis, this could already just move higher. But not something I do. I like demanding daily context minimum for my swings. So what I would do here in this situation is wait for the daily gap to be formed. GBP, same thing, likely seeking liquidity up there. Breakaway gap. Waiting for a new daily gap. Failing to offer fair value. Likely seeking liquidity next at that level. Simple as that. All right, where are we? AJ, same exact thing. Failing to offer fair value, likely seeking liquidity. Let's go over here. Do we have any reason on a lower time frame to push lower? I mean higher, sorry. Daily gap here. Potential daily gap being created here. Would like to wait to see how Monday trades. We'll get much more information as to whether this does want to come back down here, or do we actually want to continue expanding higher. Let's wait. Let's wait. Same thing likely here, filling an offer for value, likely seeking liquidity now. All these JPY pairs are the same. So you want to pair this with the most strongest currency, which would be GBP. So GBP over here, let's keep this on the long watch, as that is the strongest currency. You want to pair strongest and weak currencies, and you get that. CAD JPY, not interested, because CHF and CAD and CHF have been, remember, this very nasty stuff. Not interested in those. And then AUD, NZD, these are the pairs we just use for relative strength. AUD, NZD, and GBP. In EG, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, sorry, this is not pretty at all. Tough story to be told there. Weekly basis, also not very clear in terms of having a clear context. Just a daily saying. Daily, also not very clear. We have 0 fair value gaps, a lack of fair value gaps. So, bit of a tough read over here on AUD NZD, truthfully. Just gonna have to wait for fair value gaps displacing in either direction for a clear understanding of what this is likely to do. It is not very obvious to me right now. So you can just play what looks stronger right here, which is AUD, which it is stronger because we did see this nice up movement here. We saw the daily displacement higher. We were expecting new displacement higher off of this gap, which is why you would come to the conclusion that AUD is the stronger pair. So it's not random why AUD is stronger here. It's just no context now to work with here. But yeah, why short Euro NZD when AUD is stronger? Well, I'm not going to trade AUD NZD. Like I said, I don't trade that. So relative strength weak pair. What the heck is this? Anyways, that is the forecast. That's about it. Let's look at some stocks right here real quick. Tesla was very nice off of this monthly context. We had monthly IRO to Euro. I failed to cop any Tesla here on the dip a few weeks ago. I really just focused on Nvidia and some Google. Tesla, though, was also a very, very nice context right here. Just sweeping monthly low. Displacing off of that. This is quite a buy. And if this goes to ERO, that's a 26. Sorry, that's much more. If you bought in that monthly context, that is a 35% return right there on a swing. If you want to hold to the next target, that would be 50% returns. Tesla could be really nice for swings. Failed to capture this one, but pretty much my model for swinging stocks, long-term port, playing just monthly context. It's really as simple as that. Playing monthly context on stocks could work very well. Off that monthly, oh my god, this is gorgeous. Off this monthly, we had a monthly fair value gap. Sorry, off this monthly, we had a weekly fair value gap right here. Weekly change in state of delivery, even more confirmation than just waiting for a daily. This is beautiful right here. This is likely to continue expanding higher. Tesla is gorgeous. Nvidia is also gorgeous. We also had this monthly context that I was watching. Took some buys down here near the 100 level, 104, and expecting this to play out. And if it doesn't, well, it's a long-term hold, right? I'll just add more to that. I have faith in Nvidia longer term. Let's go to a weekly fair value gap right here. Not much respect to that, but I bought down here. We swept this daily swing low. Now we have daily fair value gaps right here. Would like to see this hold and send price higher. Goog also had, I believe, monthly context with an overlapping old swing high. Guys, please don't spam the chat. I won't look at Nifty. I've tried looking at it and it's gap central, so sorry, I won't look at Nifty. And we have monthly context right here. Beautiful daily expansion off of that. Daily for value gaps higher. Would love to see this continue pushing towards those highs. So yeah, that is the forecast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it there. Hope that was insightful. Hope you learned a thing or two, and I'll see you next week. Please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate that. That would help boost the algorithm. That is all I ask. So thank you guys for all tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. Love you. It's going to be a great week. Some really nice setups, nice news calendar, nice economic news calendar specifically. We are looking good. No big 3 news events to worry about. The unicorn video will be out this week around Wednesday. I'm aiming for Wednesday. Again, I'll have to see how the editor, they finish in time. But ideally by Wednesday, latest Thursday, it will be posted onto the channel. And it's a good one. It is a goodie. Promise. The watch list, final watch list for longs right here. For shorts right here. No waiting list. Longs and shorts right here. So that is it. Killzone indicators. It's really just this ICT everything by It's Rosh LOL. And then these are the settings right here. If you want to pause it later, these are them. Bam. Okay, there's Bitcoin. I was expecting higher prices off of this daily gap. Didn't exactly respect the gap, but we did respect this order block. We did respect this order block right here, so very nice. Very nice. Internal, external. Now creating new for value gaps higher. Boom. I like this. If we do come into that daily gap, more follow through on Bitcoin. This is that monthly gap that has been an absolute pain to expand higher from, but we are still holding it, so there's no reason to be bearish. And on a daily basis, we are again confirming order flow here with a daily for value gaps being respected, creating new daily for value gaps, disrespecting premium arrays, creating new discount arrays. So daily looks great here. We are establishing quite a nice trend. What the? Nice trend right here. Would like to see this continue. No reason not to. No reason to expect bearish right here. So looking at these highs next, just our next premium arrays, we can target. Simple dimple. Love it. I don't use bond market, my friends. I don't use bond market. I don't think it's necessary. Personally, I think it's, yeah, I just don't use it. Might do some live trading this week if I can find the time and silence. There's a lot of noise in my house. So I would love to live trade. We tried it once like a month ago. It was a good one. There was no setups, unfortunately. No setup presented itself. But it was a good stream. Would like to do some more of those if I get the opportunity to. So keep an eye out for those. Like, subscribe, set those notification bells on so you don't miss anything. So I'm just going to end it right here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Have a great week. Let's kill it. And yes, this will be posted in the YouTube channel. Peace out, fam. Love you guys.